Alright, so we got another ranking video today. For this one, I'm going to be ranking all the divisions, all 8 divisions, excluding the women's divisions. And that's just because the women's divisions are so entertaining. We just know they're all going to be at the top. So I'm just going to take them out because they're just so entertaining and everyone loves them. And yeah, so we're just going to be doing the men's divisions today just to make it fair. Yeah, so my little criteria for this, what I'm going to be ranking these based off of is number 1, just how deep it is. The top 15 in general, and also outside the top 15, like all the young prospects that haven't made it to the top 15 yet but are really promising. So we got that. We got just who the current champion is right now, and then just in general how entertaining the fights are in that certain division. So that's kind of the criteria. I'm factoring every single thing into it. And yeah, the ranking's going to be based off of how just my favorite divisions, what I find the most entertaining, my favorite divisions in the UFC. So worst to best. So let's start off at number 8. Number 8, I hate to do it, but I gotta just put Flyweight. And you know what? Like, I was looking at this division, the top 15, and it's not bad. Like, it's pretty deep, and it has a lot of just like, I don't know if entertaining is the right word, but interesting fighters. Like fighters that if they're put on a card, I'm not gonna be mad at. You know, guys like Manel Kape and Muhammad Mokaev. I know people say his fights are boring, but I enjoy watching him. Matt Schnell, he always has exciting fights. Steve Ercik now, like he's in there. Like, it's not a bad, the people in the division aren't bad. It's just kind of the weight. That's always how it's been. You know, with DJ, he was like the best fighter in the world, but just nobody cared. And that's just kind of how it is at Flyweight. It's just too small of a weight for people to really care that much. So, and yeah, like I'm not gonna lie and try to be cool and different and put this division any higher than I think it is. Like, no, it's my least favorite division to watch. It's got to go at number 8, but it's not bad. Just because it's the lowest, I don't think it's bad. There's still a lot of Flyweight fights that I like watching. I definitely don't like Flyweight main events. I think they should do away with that, but you know, co-main title fight, I'm not mad at it. So yeah, Flyweight at number 8. And yeah, by the way, guys, I just want to say this was not an easy ranking. Like, it took me a while to come up with this, a lot of thinking and a lot of looking into it. So I just want you guys to know that. Like, I didn't just quickly make this and not think about it at all. Like, I thought about it a lot and I still don't know. Like, you could probably switch out a lot of things and you're probably not going to exactly agree with this list. So you don't have to write a hate comment. You can if you want, don't really care. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. Number 7, I got Featherweight. And before you freak out, just hear me out here. So Volk dominated this division for a long time, and for the longest time it was entertaining, but there just wasn't a lot of contenders. And that's a big thing that makes the division interesting. Like, you know, Holloway kind of cleared it out, and now Topuria got the belt, and you could say, like, yeah, there's some new matchups, but, you know, once Max and Topuria fight, which I think Topuria probably wins at. If he doesn't, it might make it a little more interesting, but maybe even not, because Holloway is someone who's beat everyone else too. But once Topuria and Holloway fight, there's not that many. It's not super deep. I love Max. He's one of my favorite fighters, and he's one of the people that make this division great. But yeah, man, like, just there's a couple guys. You got Diego Lopez, like Ortega did win his last fight. He just pulled out though, and he's number 3. So I don't know what's going on with him. There's just a lot of guys who have already lost and are getting older, and you know what I mean. There's not a whole lot of like fresh blood in that division. There's a lot of potential, I think, but you got guys like Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar, Giga Chikadze. Like, all these guys have already kind of had their little run and ended up not making it to the top. So there's a lot of guys where I don't really know where they go. But then again, you know, you got Aljamain in there, who, it's cool, but he kind of just makes the division a little bit more boring, to be honest. I mean, we all saw his last fight, his debut at Featherweight. It was not very entertaining to watch. You know, I think it's good, but not amazing. And that's why it's at number 7. Honestly, guys, like, none of these divisions are bad. Like, I find them all entertaining. So you just, you know, you got to put some in front of the other. Like, yeah, I wish I could put them all at number 1, but you can't. But yeah, they're all entertaining to me. They're all entertaining to me. They really are. There's not one that I hate. So, but yeah, I got to go Featherweight at number 7, mostly just for the depth, and just at this current moment, that's where I'd put it. A few years ago, you know, when Volk first got the belt, this one probably would have been higher. But, and I know Topuria just got it, but I don't think that means there's a lot of fresh matchups. I mean, guys that Volk already beat, guys that Holloway already beat. You can make those fights because they're guys that Topuria has never fought, but I don't think that makes them interesting. And that's how I feel about it. So yeah, Featherweight, number 7. Number 6, we got light heavyweight. Now, this is kind of a tough one because I believe that Alex Pereira, who's the champ at light heavyweight right now, is probably the most entertaining champ at the moment, but it's just the division I don't think is that deep. You look at this top 15, a lot of these guys are washed up, on the verge of retirement, already lost to the top contenders, and Pereira's already beat a healthy amount of them too. Ankalaev is pretty much the only guy that's ready for a title fight. Jamal Hill lost, Jan lost, Rakic lost to Yuri, who Yuri's lost twice to Pereira. So yeah, a lot of the guys have just been beat already. Not to say it's not an entertaining division, it's very entertaining, especially with Pereira up there. But I think, take Pereira out of this division, it's probably dead last, in my opinion. He's kind of carrying it, and I don't think he has that many fights left in this division. I mean, if he beats Ankalaev, I don't really know what's next for him. You got Johnny Walker, who he could have been very interesting matchup for Pereira if he kept winning, but, he lost too. So yeah, like I said, a lot of these guys are just kind of damaged goods at this point. And it sucks, but that's how it is right now. So yeah, I mean, to make it to number 6, basically just from Pereira, says a lot. Like, he really is, like, carrying this division. It doesn't matter who he fights, it's entertaining. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put it at number 6. Number 5, I'm gonna put Bantamweight. Now, people might freak out on hearing that right away, but if this was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever, this would probably be like top 3 easily. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of fallen off. I mean, this is, again, kind of a similar situation with O'Malley being the champion. He doesn't carry it, but he's definitely the main reason why this is at number 5. It's definitely the main reason why it's above the other 3. Again, similar to the last division, similar to light heavyweight, there's a lot of guys who are kind of on the verge of retirement or already lost. Cheeto's in the top 5, and he's not getting a title shot anytime soon, and he's been losing. He was losing even before he got the shot. You got Pedro Munoz in there. You got Pedro. You got Dominic Cruz, who even knows if he's still gonna fight. There's a lot of guys like that, but there's also a lot of guys who have a lot of potential, and there's a lot of guys who come from O'Malley's gym who are very skilled and have a lot of potential, which that could be like a similar situation to Merab and Aljo, which could be a problem once they get there. I mean, you guys like Mario Bautista, Marcus McGee, Kyler Phillips. These guys are all entertaining and they're all very good and they're winning, but they're teammates with O'Malley, so I don't see them fighting each other. So that could end up being a logjam once it gets there. But yeah, you got the Merab fight, and not a whole... I mean, you got Corey Sandhagen too, but he's fighting Umar. So there is some interesting matchups, but I think once if O'Malley beats Merab, there's not a whole lot, and he's probably going to be talking about the Ilya fight. So yeah, I don't think it's super deep, but it is entertaining right now, and I think the middle is a perfect spot for it at this current moment. Number 5. Number 4, we got welterweight, and I'd say this one is at number 4 because I just think it's the ideal weight. It's the ideal weight that I like to watch. I think 170 is a good weight. It's not fat heavyweights. Some people do like that, but there's a lot of guys in this division who are very calculated and have good striking and are just fun to watch. I like Leon as a champion too. I know a lot of people think he's boring, but I do like watching him. I think his striking is very entertaining. You got some young guys like Jack Della Maddalena, Ian Gary coming up, Michael Page too, and you got the Bilal and Leon fight coming up, which I'm actually excited for that. I don't know if I'm the only one in the world who is, but I'm actually excited to watch that, man. Maybe I'll eat my words and it'll put me to sleep, but who knows? I mean, I'm excited. Yeah, I just think it's been really interesting, seeing what Leon has done, beating Kamaru twice, and yeah, it's just kind of revamped it and made it really interesting in my opinion. I'm a big fan of Leon, if you couldn't tell. And then also you got Shavkat, who is the dark horse of the division. Everyone thinks he's going to be the champ, but he's just not getting the title shot. So it's always fun when there's that one guy that, everyone thinks can be champ, but just isn't champ yet. And you're like, oh, when's he going to get a shot? Is he ever going to get a shot? Is he going to lose before he gets it? And, when you have a guy who's undefeated like that, all finishes too, it just adds so much to the division. Yeah, I think it's relatively deep. That's probably its weakest point, is the depth of it, but I think everything else about it's pretty good. So number 4 spot, we got welterweight. Now we got the big 3. So for number 3, I'm choosing heavyweight. And listen, this had potential to be number 1 if it wasn't for John Jones holding up the division. But still, it's still super fun. You got John Jones at the top. I know he's fighting Stipe. It kind of sucks, but... And then you got Tom, interim champ, right below him. You got Gon. He's good, but whatever. You got Sergey. He kind of lost a lot of stock since he lost to Tom, but still interesting fights for him. I think Volkov just beat Pavlovich, didn't he? Yeah, he did. So you got Volkov in there. Derek Lewis is always fun. Curtis Blades and Aspinall are fighting. It's fun. It's a fun time at heavyweight. I just wish the absolute top would fight the absolute top, aka Tom and John should be fighting. That's the only thing holding it back. I mean, that would be a massive super fight if that happened, and yeah, it would make heavyweight super exciting, probably the number one spot. But yeah, I mean, this is mostly carried by, I mean, first of all, Tom, like he's just on a tear. He's the number one guy. And just the fact that it's heavyweight, and heavyweight fights are just always exciting. You know, there's always knockouts. There's always fatties going at it, fighting. It's just fun to watch. So heavyweight's always going to be near the top, and it's usually going to be above the lower divisions. So I have to put it number 3. For number 2, I got middleweight. And yeah, this division's just been super exciting. It's an ideal weight. You got that Izzy and Dricus fight coming up. That's probably the number 1 fight I'm most excited for right now, just because of how much of a grudge match it is. And I've always been a fan of Izzy, and I'm just excited to see if he still has it. It's just a very intriguing fight. I mean, even a year ago, I would pick Izzy as a lock over Dricus. But now it's like I have no idea. I really have no idea who's going to win this fight. So that's what makes it exciting. So that's huge. And then you got Strickland too, who's always just making everything exciting, and he's near the top. And I just think there's some interesting fights. I mean, I know there's a lot of guys who have already lost. You got Vettori and Cannonier and all these guys, but at the same time, they're all fun fights. You got Hamzat down there too. I know he's number 11, and he has to fight some guys. He has to get that going, but I know everyone hates Hamzat now, and he has been really annoying, but you can't deny it's always exciting when he fights. So you got him in there. And yeah, I love this division right now. It's fun. Any fight you can make in the top 15 is a good one in my opinion. And yeah, it doesn't even have to be super deep. It's just a lot of the guys in here are fun fights to watch. So number 2 currently is middleweight. Number 1, we all know what it is. It's lightweight. I mean, this division is always on top, I feel like. It's just always so exciting. 155. You know, Islam and Arman, I'm really excited for. I think it's Islam's biggest test. It's going to be his biggest test. And yeah, I mean, anytime that Islam fights, it's just fun because he's got that undefeated, you know, champion aura to him. And yeah, he's kind of cleared it out, but it doesn't even matter. Like, the top guys can fight the top guys, and it's entertaining. There doesn't even have to be much on the line. You can just make fun fights. You got Chandler, Poirier, Oliveira, Gaethje, Fiziev, Daniil, Gamrot, like all these guys. And then you got Islam at the top. I wouldn't say this division's at its peak right now. It's maybe on a bit of a down low, but I'd still put it number 1. I'm most excited to watch lightweight fights. It's very close. I think middleweight's really close to overtaking it, but yeah, just Islam. Islam makes a difference here. I love long reigning champions, and there's not a lot in the UFC right now. Yeah, I'm excited to keep watching Islam's run. And yeah, I think there's a lot of depth in this division as well. So lightweight would be number 1. Like I said, man, like this was a hard ranking. It was hard to rank these. So if you disagree with this, don't just go comment, "You suck, I hate you." Comment your own list. Write it out in the comments. I'm curious. I want to see how you guys would rank this, because I know you could switch out a lot of things. It's just based on your opinion. And even this, like, I'm looking at it now, and I could even probably switch some things around. Like it would take a lot more. Yeah, this is what I got. Let me know what your current list is. Thanks for watching.